Texas Steampunk Connection, your source for steampunk event information in the great free state of Texas.
We also discuss books, films, comics, and games.
Also, we enjoy visiting with the local steampunk luminaries.
I'm Flavio.
I'm Erica.
And I'm Thax,
Your
hosts.
Thank you for tuning in, and now on to the episode.
Hello, this is, Texas Steampunk Connection again, Season 2, Episode 3.
Welcome back. We're glad you're with us.
Yes, it's been at least 2 weeks since we talked to you. How are you doing, people? Hope everything's great.
Everything's great here.
Yes.
In fact, we are about to hit 200 likes on Facebook.
So excited.
Hooray!
That doesn't seem like a lot to, some people. But we're very excited.
Yes, that's a lot of people.
So we're going to have a giveaway.
Yeah.
We've never had one of these before.
Yes.
And I don't know what we're going to give away.
But
so
we'll
you
think of
just
something
trust
cool.
us, and we trust you to bring us up to the 200 likes. So that seems fair.
Yes, yeah, definitely. I mean, we need them. Or spread the word. Tell your friends.
So what we're going to ask you to do, if you haven't liked us already on Facebook, go over there and just hit the like button so we know you're on the list.
Yep.
And then share this episode on Facebook with your friends.
Yes.
And,
hopefully that'll generate more likes.
And we will
We'll put
put
your name in a
everybody's
hat.
name in a hat who's done those two things, and we'll contact you with
Telling you you're the winner.
telling you you're the winner, getting your address, send you something good that we have that we don't need in our house anymore.
You don't want to give them trash.
No.
It'll be something cool.
Something good.
Yes, that sounds like a plan. I like this plan. So yes, do what he said. Get your name in the hat, and we will send you a prize.
So thank you for sticking with us. We appreciate you listening. We enjoy making this show. So let's go on with it.
Yes, we've done a few things since last we were on. You went to Darwin Day just yesterday, wasn't it?
It was just yesterday.
Oh, by the way, it is February 12th, 2017. For those listening, I know if it's in the future. Sorry.
We're coming to you from the past.
Yes, the giveaway will not count after the next podcast.
Right. Yeah. We'll figure it out.
Funny thing.
Yeah, we've been talking about Darwin Day for the last episode or two. Coming up, well, it's not coming up anymore. Darwin's birthday was yesterday. He was old.
Over 100 years, right?
So the University of Texas, no, City of Austin, is promoting a Darwin Day event, and we went to it to see what it was all about. We'd never heard of it before.
This was its 10th year, however.
Yeah,
Shows how much we're in the loop.
we talked to one of the organizers, and he clued us in. Yes, 10th year, not first year, as I might have thought.
But it's been in different locations, so I think this was
So it moves around. That's tricky.
right. I mean, in Austin, but they have different venues.
Where was it this time? I wasn't there. I did not make it
It
myself.
was at the Pickle Research Center.
Okay. I've driven
up
past that.
off of Burnett Road.
They don't research pickles there, I'm assuming?
Afraid not.
Actually, I believe among other things, they research nuclear energy.
That's not a pickle.
No. We, as far as we know, we might have been standing directly on top of a nuclear power plant.
Oh, okay. I feel safe.
Good times. Yeah.
No meltdown imminent. Okay. So anyway, what was there? How was it? I saw a couple of pictures of yours that you put on Facebook.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
of you and Darwin himself. It looked like he was actually there.
A real life size cardboard cutout of Darwin to take pictures with. That was the show. That was it.
That was it?
Right.
Wow,
No.
that's not much.
When we arrived, there was a very long line. Lots of parents and children standing in line for cake. We weren't.
Of course, birthday cake. Of
Right.
course.
We weren't so keen on the cake, so we went ahead and bypassed that line and walked around to the various exhibits and displays that they had. There were several posters displaying some of the key aspects of Charles Darwin's theories and work in the field. He studied populations of finches and was trying to discover a correlation or how the birds' appearances and their beak shapes reflected how they interacted with their environment and what their main food sources were and things like that.
And that changed that changed the way their beaks are shaped because of that.
Right.
Kind of thing?
That was his theory.
That was his theory.
Okay.
That competition made the ones with the beaks shaped in a particular way advantageous to those who weren't.
That makes sense. Yeah. He's a pretty smart man.
It was one of a number of theories of the time that we learned about. Another scientist, who the name escapes me, believed that it was his theory seems very similar, but environmental impacts, that the birds who were able to reach the food more easily would cause them to
Adapt.
adapt and
Or
procreate
evolve, I
more
think it is.
procreate more easily, I guess. And so his theory was that it was they would adapt against the
Environment.
environment versus competition with other birds. And it seems kind of, what's the difference, right? You're framing it a different way, but you're talking about the same thing.
I get. Yeah, I figured. I mean, if you
But
adapt to your environment, then you survive better and longer.
Right. Versus
Whatever traits you have are passed on.
versus your advantage against your neighbor will let you survive longer. Like I said, it's sort of saying the same
Very
thing.
fine line. Yeah.
But scientists like to argue.
Right.
That's why they got into this business, I guess.
Right, and something that really struck me about Darwin's observations was that he was kind of the first scientist that I know of. I'm not sure of the first scientist ever who developed a really broad theory about how species sort of work together and develop together to be not just in competition but also complementary to one another. So, for example, he found this particular type of lily in the forest, and it had a very long tube before you could reach the nectar. And so he thought to himself, well, obviously, if this exists, there has to exist a pollinator
to reach
that
down in
can
there.
reach down
Okay.
in there,
Like a hummingbird.
So he found a moth actually
Oh, a
that had a
moth,
very
okay.
long proboscis.
Well, he knew that there were similar moths in England with fairly long ones to match the flowers that
Okay.
were in England. But this one was longer. Stamen, is it? And so he assumed, well, there must be another moth that matches with this flower.
So this he was the first person to really begin to develop the picture that most of us have now of nature as being this very interconnected,
Like an
complicated,
ecosystem.
complicated system, right? It's not just competition. It's not just evolution. It's these things all
everything- they need
interact
each other to
together and
survive.
they need each
Yeah.
other. Yeah. So that was
Kinda like- yeah.
really cool. And there were maker things there. You could make a dinosaur out of you could cut it out of paper and put it together. And there was a dinosaur dig where there was these big pans full of dirt that you could dig through and find dinosaur bones.
So it was very kid friendly.
Very interactive.
sounds like it, yeah.
They had microscopes, and so you could see all sorts of horrible little things that live in creek water.
Yeah, they got some water from the creek, and they
Ew.
stuck
Yeah,
a
this is within
microscope
your
in
creek.
it, and they
Ooh.
just they watched little critters running around in there.
Okay. I
And
don't think I really want to know.
skulls, fossil skulls, and skulls of modern creatures, sort of compared side by side to see what changes have taken place over thousands of years.
Yeah, tell them about the alligator.
The alligator, oh my gosh.
What about the alligator?
They had an alligator jawbone there that was probably a good 5 feet long, at least.
The jawbone alone.
The jawbone alone, just
That's a long
from the hinge of
jawbone,
the jaw
yeah.
to the tips of the front
That's
teeth.
a big head.
Right. And then next to it, they had a skull of a modern alligator that was more like maybe 1.5 feet. And it
Wow.
was the whole skull. And so you could sort of turn it on its side and compare the two jaws, which the jaws have not changed very much as far as
In shape? Okay.
But just the scale is much
Yeah.
bigger
How
back
very,
then.
that's probably Jurassic Park.
I mean, the teeth alone were God,
probably the size of my thumb, easily.
Twice the size of your thumb. I
Yeah.
was like,
That's a
What-
big mouth.
which only tells me that there are other creatures big enough for this thing to want to eat.
Right. They had to be, yeah, in order for him to be able to eat them. Yeah.
Anything our size, it's just not worth it to him.
Wow.
What else was there? There were a lot of kid friendly stuff. They had a lot of insects, on pins, displaying diversity of different types of insects, and then they had one box comparing insects to the closest similar Pokemon. So you could compare. Okay, this is what the real insect looks like,
And this is a
compared
Pokemon.
to the Butterfree that you're collecting outside.
That's funny.
And the Beedrill does not actually come from Kakuna in real life. That's wrong.
Of course not, but it's Pokemon. It's fantasy. That's funny. Well, that sounds like a good time. Would you recommend this next year for people?
Yeah, yes, absolutely. The one thing that I think they were missing were people in costumes.
I'm sorry, I didn't go.
And it was educational, even though it was mostly kid targeted. We got a lot out of it.
Were they-
because we are very childish.
Of course. And you were in costume. Did you get any kind of reaction to you being in costume there? Or they just ignored you?
Not really.
Just like, okay.
Which doesn't usually happen.
Yeah.
It's hard to compete with alligator
This is true.
jaw 4 foot, 5 foot long.
This is very true.
And they did have some adult continuing education lectures and things like that.
Okay.
We actually attended one, which I guess we could get college credit for if we were looking for that sort of thing, about different sort of sexual signaling between.
Oh my.
Yes. Heavens.
In the
Between-
animal kingdom.
in the animal kingdom.
Oh, right.
How does competition shape this? How does biology shape this, etc. And that was very fascinating.
It reminds me, that one bird that basically, when he spreads out, he looks like a big circle and he bounces around.
Oh,
back and
yeah,
forth. I saw a commercial where there was a guy in a costume walks up to a woman and does that. He does that. He spreads his arms and he has a costume on like that bird, dances around and runs away. It was really funny. I'm pretty sure it was staged, but it was really funny. But anyway, so that's so next year. Consider that.
Yeah,
we'll
definitely.
definitely consider getting another group together and trying again next year for his
And
next
it
birthday.
didn't cost anything to get in.
That's even better, yeah.
And there was free cake.
oh, free cake, but there was a long line. But
Well, that
Sure.
happens when there's free cake.
If we'd
true.
gotten there earlier, we could have gotten right up in front of the line,
Get
in front of
that
all the
cake.
children. Be like, "Hi, kids, we got your cake." Haha.
okay.
And also, there's a Pokestop.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, yeah. Well, it may be in a different place next year.
That's true. But that sounds like it sounds like it was interesting. But anyway,
It was cool. I think it would be cool to see more booths, more things
for a second there
on
they said
display.
booze.
There was a RPG.
Oh, right, the
Guy.
caveman
There's
role
I've
playing
seen
game.
him. I've seen him at different places, like the Here Be Monsters Con. He was there. Yeah. So he's still out there pushing his product. Good for him.
well,
and it matches.
It-
It fits the theme of the area of the event. Yeah, that's cool. All right, well, so we'll consider that next year for sure. So today we were looking for content to talk about, and there was a message on our Facebook page from a gentleman, or well, I don't know if it's a gentleman, it could be a woman, because it says Victorian Vigilante.
Hello, Victorian Vigilante.
Actually lives in Tijeras, New Mexico.
There's a New Mexico?
Yeah. What's wrong with the old one?
Do we have to build a wall around it?
No, let's not have any of that talk.
Yes. This is not the forum for that.
There are vigilantes in New Mexico. I have proof.
But is it Victorian? This is a Victorian vigilante.
Bad hombres.
So, out of curiosity, he sent a message to us on our Facebook page and asked us if we've been to the Steampunk Saloon here in Austin and if we had done a review. And apparently listened to all our podcasts before.
Wow.
I thought we mentioned it at one point in the past. I don't know. We didn't do an official review, but we might have mentioned it.
We should do that then.
Yeah, how about that?
Excuse us while we take a break and go over to Steampunk Saloon.
We'll be right
Come
back. Okay, and we're back.
Woohoo!
Okay, so it hasn't changed much. It has changed, but not
A bit. Okay, so we did have a little gathering at the Steampunk Saloon. Wow, it was like last year.
Been a while, yeah.
At some point, with the Austin Steampunk Society, and everybody came out, and they had a super great time.
And the manager brought us shots.
Nice.
Super great time, did I say? Yes. And they were happy to see us, and everything went quite well. Yeah, we had a good time just to sort of scope it out and see what it was about. And
It's a bar.
And we went back today to see if anything had changed, because we really haven't been back much since.
Right. I mean, because it essentially boils down to a sports bar with an attempt at steampunk decor. There's a few things that are steampunk on the walls.
I think they've...
I like their taps. They kind of look nice.
Yeah, they use a lot of
Natural
steel,
woods.
rust patina, and natural woods in their decor. They've got the copper plate ceiling. Is that copper? Steel? I don't know.
Looks coppery.
Old timey.
They have some old-timey looking lights here and there.
Yeah, I think
Edison
those.
bulbs.
A lot of those are new since the last time we were there. But when it comes down to in the bar, there are big screen TVs and guys watching football.
And video games scattered throughout. You know,
A lot of the video games cases have been sort of steampunked up. So
somewhat. The basketball one was, but it's not really a video game per se, but that game. I didn't look at the
Right.
skee-ball game very well.
No, the skee-ball game
just
was
regular
just a
skee-ball,
skee-ball
yeah.
game. And then outside, they've added sort of a covered area since the first time we went there. They've
Built a stage.
and then there's a stage between the two. It looks like permanent food trucks at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's no wheels on one
So
of them
there's
for sure.
there's
so-
one there's a food truck that serves seafood and lobster, I believe.
Yeah.
And then the other food truck is a barbecue truck. So
for all your fine dining experiences.
right, and they have a pretty decent beer selection.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
You can't get very far in Austin these days without having a good selection of craft beers.
Especially with all the breweries running around town.
Yeah, yeah. So no complaints there.
Nice porch area to sit and
When
watch.
we've been there in the past during night hours, even on a Tuesday, they were fairly busy and it was hard to get service. But this afternoon, that wasn't a problem.
Nope, no problem at all.
Got our beers.
For
and sat
Sunday
down.
afternoon, pretty easy.
Yeah. Which is good. I mean, I guess that means that they're going to stick around. They've poured a lot of time and money into putting together this steampunk aesthetic in the building. I'm pretty satisfied with what they've done so far. I think
guess. It just still screams sports bar to me. So too much so.
it is a sports bar because they
I know that's how
wanna
they make their
actually
money. I know.
stay
I
in
know.
business.
But on that leading from there, I mean, our Victorian Vigilante also asked us or suggested, hey, why don't we talk about what our dream steampunk bar would be?
Looks like we're ahead of ourselves. I mean, did you like the bar?
No, not really.
Well, alrighty then.
Sorry, I was like, especially because the location is downtown. You know, I'm not going
Yeah.
to go downtown just to go to that bar, kind of thing. You know, but if I were already downtown, sure, I'll stop in and have a beer.
Erica, did you like the bar?
Well, I've been going to that location since it was Opal's, so I'm a bit fond of that area of 6th Street. It's kind of nice to just sit and people watch and you know, and see how Austin is growing. You can definitely look around and see all the new buildings going up, and you know, it's got a youthful, fun, exciting, happening kind of vibe to it.
Youthful. That's it. I'm a commercial old man now. That's what's going on.
Oh,
You mean
see,
the college hipster crowd?
moving
into all the
well, they are pretty people.
The
God bless them. Somebody's got to do it.
Does that mean you did like it?
Yeah, I
Or
like it.
Your experience?
I like it just fine. You know, I don't get downtown much, but if I were downtown, like Flavio said, I would definitely stop in.
Okay, all right.
How about you? What did you? Obviously, it sounds like you liked it.
I have high hopes for the future. I really like the direction they're going with the decor, and like I said, I think they're putting a lot of effort into it. The additions that I saw since last year when we went, there's now a stage in the back, and more nice looking lighting.
Yep.
They're going in a direction that I like.
The additions I saw just made it more sports bar-y. I mean, with the pool tables and that Connect Four and
the Connect Four was already there.
I didn't see
Jenga
that
was
last
already
time.
there. They do have pool tables in an awkward place right now, but that might change in the future as they're building an upstairs. I don't know. I don't know what their plans are. I hope for the best. I and Russ Argo, the
man, the
steampunk
myth, the legend.
facilitator, have both tried to reach out to the Steampunk Saloon management to ask them about having events at the site, or if they're already having events, what are they doing so we can be sure to show up.
Right.
And we've gotten no response.
That's
at all,
bad communication. That's not good. Yeah.
which doesn't bode particularly well. But maybe they just have their hands full with all the construction that they've been doing. I don't know.
Possibly.
I want to like them.
But
I want to.
It's been over a year and they still haven't got their top deck done.
It's been over a year and they're still doing business. That
That's true.
says something for a bar
Yeah,
scene
for 6th Street.
downtown.
Yeah.
They do tend to turn around a lot pretty fast back down there.
And it would be nice to see the staff dressed a little more steampunkish.
Yeah, it's not that difficult especially for the men.
So now we're getting into the topic you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, now let's go. What would our dream steampunk bar look like or be?
There would be parking.
There would be
first of all.
parking. Yeah, there would be parking.
Yeah, this one only had street parking, and the city wants to charge you if they let you park at all. They cut off certain areas near there that you have to park in the neighborhood. That kind of blows.
Probably the neighbors don't like that much.
They shouldn't have moved there.
True. So what would you want if you were to make a steampunk bar? What would you start with? How would you start putting it together?
So if we assume that
Money's no object.
that I don't have to worry about making money and I don't have to have a sports bar,
Right.
I would stop pumping the
jukebox
classic rock and roll music through the pipes as loud as possible. That annoys the heck out of
that
me.
did get annoying.
I like music. There's plenty of bands that fit the steampunk motif that are still popular and interesting, which we'll have other episodes about, I'm
Yep.
sure.
That's the plan.
But Van Halen doesn't really fit where we're sitting. The AC/DC, though I like AC/DC, it was weird.
It doesn't quite fit. Although, as we were talking about when we were there, it's like, start making automatons for the stage and hook them up to the jukebox and have, kind of like Chuck E. Cheese back in, with how they had those puppets and up there.
That amuses me quite
So
a bit.
wouldn't that, so AC/DC would be more steampunk if it was coming out of a bunch of automatons, wouldn't it?
No.
Sure would.
Fantastic.
That would be awesome.
And then just add a little bit of pop and fizzle to the speakers to make it sound like an old-timey record player, regardless of what's coming out of the jukebox.
I like it. Yes. I like it. So so we were talking about, since there's a stage, and we started talking about bands, then we started talking about automaton bartenders,
Right.
and then it turned into automaton band.
Because you could have a player piano.
Yes, I
And then you have
definitely like the player piano
a
idea.
robot playing the player piano.
That looked like
Steampunk Elton John.
Elton John.
I now need steampunk Elton John in my life. I don't even care about the bar.
I mean, as for the decor, I would definitely want a little bit more, I don't know, piping. And if possible, maybe some steam coming here and there. Maybe not a whole lot of steam, just some steam, like behind the bar when they pulled it, when they pour some beer, maybe a little puff of steam come out the top.
It's nitro.
I would like to see kinetic sculptures.
Yeah.
Gears and things that actually work and move and do things that you can see. For example, there's Main Street Station Bar in Las Vegas has ceiling fans that are belt driven, and you can look up and you can see the big ceiling fan blades that are sort of shaped like sort of an organic flower or plant leaf shape.
And they're all belted together.
And then they're all put together on one kind of long pipe, and then there's a belt that drives them, and that's really cool looking. And it's just functional, and but it's got kind of a turn of the century feel to it.
I think I saw the same system of belted fans in New Orleans, in some of the restaurants
I
and
think so.
art studios
Yeah,
there.
now that you mention it, yeah.
And yeah, I mean, they totally fit the New Orleans turn of the century look. So yeah, I can't argue with that.
Yeah, then we were talking about having an upstairs, more loungy area
Well,
with a dress code required.
well, if we were
Yeah, like I
doing
said.
exactly what we wanted,
Exactly, that's what this is.
upstairs,
What do we,
dress code, humidor and cognac bar.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So you could go up there and smoke cigars away from people who wouldn't be interested in getting smoked out.
Yep.
Austin does not let you do that, which is really frustrating for those of us who like cigars.
Definitely.
You cannot smoke indoors, and it's either too effing hot or too cold to smoke outdoors.
Yep. So I was thinking as myself, like a lot of those smoking lounges back in the day, or lodges, or whatever you want to call them, they had taxidermy animals. I don't want taxidermy animals. I want sculptors, and to make steampunk type looking animals as if it was a hunting lodge and we hunted, and these are our trophies, the steampunk animals sculptures.
Would you want them to sing?
No,
That's a little bit too much there. That's for downstairs on the stage. But I mean, in a taxidermy type setting, but sculptures of steampunk creatures.
So like a big moose head.
Yeah, with goggles on or something.
And then a wall, and then the other side of the wall, there's the rest of the moose.
That would be awesome. Yeah,
Unicorn. We definitely need a unicorn head on the wall.
Yeah.
That would be part of the player piano. The whole unicorn.
Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of
All
want
right.
that too.
But yeah, so if money was no object, that's the kind of stuff we would want. Obviously, it looks like.
And then maybe kind of a mix of gas lights and Edison bulbs.
Yeah,
just
definitely.
to kind of give it that, we're in that space between the old and the new, when we were
It was still
when
changing
everyone
over,
was
yeah.
transitioning from gas
to,
lights to Edison bulbs. So just to kind of visually clue you in that we're in this kind of twilight time.
So we don't have to worry about gas lights burning the place to the ground because this is our fantasy?
Right.
Okay, then
Yes.
sure, yeah.
Gas lights are totally safe.
Yeah, we'll go with that. I've seen them on occasion. Some places, New Orleans had a lot of them.
Right. So like around the outside and on the patio and things like that have gas lights.
But so that sounds pretty fun to me. We just need the money.
So if you have a lot of money
Yes.
and you would like to get involved in this
This
project
venture,
that we are going to, contact us offline. We will gladly accept your cash.
Yes, Facebook, Texas Steampunk Connection. Just PM us.
Right.
So that would be that sounds like our dream bar, and sounds fun to me. I would go.
You know what else we need?
What do we need?
On-site brewing.
So it would be a brew club.
Yeah, and that's not even ridiculous. I mean,
No.
we've been to
It's done.
microbrews and breweries,
It's all over the place.
and those big old tanks, copper looking. And
Like
now
the
we
one in-
have pipes around for a reason.
Like Main Street Station is exactly what that is. In
Yeah.
Vegas,
Yeah.
those big copper tanks. Yeah. We can. Yeah, that sounds great to me. We just have to find a brewmaster. We know some.
Yeah, but he has his own brewery, which is why we know
But he's
him.
willing to teach us.
I
If we
would love
bug
to
him
do
enough,
that.
if we bug him enough, he'll take fine.
Nice.
Stop asking. Call. Awesome.
So I hope that answered your question, Vigilante, Virginia Vigilante.
No,
Victorian Vigilante. Sorry, my bad.
On Virginia. That's
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm
New
sorry.
Mexico.
In New Mexico, which is baffling to me that we have someone in New Mexico listening to us.
It baffles me that anyone is listening to us. But we love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Remember, 200 likes. We're going for 200 likes. We're so close.
Hey, on the way back from the steampunk bar, we passed another bar.
Yes.
Of course, we were on our way to do other things by then, but we'll review it in a future.
Was it the Roosevelt Lounge? No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I believe that's what it was called, the
And
Roosevelt
when
Lounge.
looking at the Yelp reviews and things they were saying, it's pretty close. Sounds like pretty close to what we want.
It seemed a lot closer to what we were looking for with signature cocktails and hoity-toity staff, maybe. I don't
Comfortable
know.
chairs, I think I heard.
Obviously,
Yes.
it's still no smoking inside because Austin.
Austin.
Red velvet, everything.
Perfect.
I don't know what to expect. It was very
Yeah, I mean-
dark when we drove by.
Yeah, we drove by and on the painted outside was a skull with a top hat. I mean, come on.
Yes, and I hear that Wednesday is whiskey night. at
Perfect.
Roosevelt, so we'll definitely have to check that out.
And we are the Roosevelt Adventuring Society, so we have to go if it has Roosevelt in the name.
Certainly,
Right.
certainly.
Come on.
Top hats all around.
Yes. Oh. Well, that was fun. Now what? Okay, so we have a few more things that we can talk about real quick here.
Okay.
I'm going to talk briefly about a podcast. It was actually I saw this podcast. Somebody posted a link on Facebook. It might have been on our Texas, not on our page, but it was on Austin Steampunk or one of the many steampunk pages I'm part of.
Okay.
So some of you probably already heard of it, but it's Sage and Savant podcast. This is a fun podcast. It's basically it's a female scientist. I would go so far as to call her a mad scientist. Named Sage, and her assistant Savant, who's obviously in love with her, but she doesn't seem to notice. But anyway, that's besides the point.
So it's a radio show.
It's a radio show, yes, live action radio show. It's a play kind of thing, and she has somehow discovered a way, accidentally, to transfer their consciousness into past lives, kind of like Quantum Leap. Remember Quantum Leap, that old
Yeah.
TV show?
Yeah.
I don't if you're young and you haven't heard of Quantum Leap out there, it was an old TV show. Look it up. It was really good.
Scott Bakula. is
Scott
my hero.
Bakula, they were sending his mind back into the past, into other people's bodies, and
Wacky
and wacky
crazy
things
stuff.
happen.
Yes.
So yeah, they're doing similar things. They're sending their brains or minds back in the past and finding themselves in different bodies. Actually, one time they went to the future on accident as well. So it's not just the past with them. But it's just fun. And there's a narrator who kind of reminded me of the narrator from the new show Series of Unfortunate Events. How he's sitting there talking to you and
In the
telling you.
Tick?
Yeah, that guy. But in that show, he sits there and he's talking to you, kind of telling you the story, what's going on, and making comments on the side and this and that and everything. They have a similar commentator on this show.
So is he like really deadpan?
Sometimes, yeah, a
Cool.
lot of it. So it's just really entertaining. I've only listened to 3 or 4 of them, and there's like 9 out right now. So I'm not all completely caught up. But I find it really entertaining. The production's really good. They got a lot of background, the special effects sounds and everything. They got all that down.
So not like this.
Yeah, no, they're not just talking; they're acting and
But high production value.
Yes,
Not-
sounds
not
like
like
it.
this.
Not like this. We are not high production value. No.
But we're working on it.
Hey, we've expanded. I have a brand new mixer that takes up to 4 mics.
It's like twice as big as the last
It's
one.
definitely twice as big. I had to go to a bigger bag to carry everything now.
Getting off topic though.
Yes.
Okay.
But I highly recommend it. Sage and Savant podcast. I'm sure you can find it on iTunes and all the other podcast outlets. But that was it. I just wanted to put a quick shout out for that. And also looking for things to do. We just watched a movie.
Yeah, let's do a review.
Okay.
That's why we didn't stop at the Roosevelt Saloon.
Yes, we decided we wanted to come watch a movie.
Lounge. Yes. Came home, watch movie.
We should put in a soundbite from the trailer here.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do that.
All right. The thing about the greatest of the greatest.
Yes.
No one has ever been as great as they are in the world's greatest comedy, The Great Race. It's the greatest.
Yes, yes.
The Great Race. This is an older movie. When was it made?
1965?
1965. The Great Race. This movie, well, they built it as a comedy. So
Yes, they did.
it was funny. I laughed, but I don't think I was laughing for the reasons they wanted us to laugh.
let's start by saying the Great Race is akin to and probably predates anything else I've seen as far as race movies.
Right.
So Cannonball Run is probably the most well known, but there were a number of race movies that came before that. Daring Young Men and Their Flying Machines, which we'll probably watch and review later. Cannonball Run, Rat Race came out maybe 10 or less years ago. And there are a lot of these.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. There's one that I mentioned back in the 70s called the Gumball Rally.
That's right. Do you remember?
Gum isn't chewing gum.
There was this 1980s style college movie. Darn. I'll look it up.
Anyway, it was a fun movie. They were going to race from New York to Paris in
cars.
In cars.
It's an automobile race.
And the main character, the hero, had these people, well, a car company make a custom car for him to prove that America makes the best cars. And of course,
obviously, of course, yes.
Excuse me. I'm sorry, people. I have a cough here. Thank you for the water. Continue quickly.
Let's see. So the hero is definitely the hero, and he's all in white,
yes.
And his car is beautiful white with red
White
interior,
tires,
white everything.
Everything was white. He pulled out a rope, and it was white.
All of his luggage was white, and the villain, played by Jack Lemmon, who's awesome. He's
and Peter Falk as his sidekick.
Young Peter Falk.
Very young Peter Falk.
As far as I could tell, his eyes were both pointing in the same direction the whole time. But they're all in black.
right?
But he had the coolest car, I think. Although, I mean, the hero's car was beautiful and sleek. Tony Curtis. It was beautiful and sleek. And the hero car, I mean, the villain car was black and threatening, but he had all these gadgets and stuff in it. It was cool. They had a smoke screen. They had it elevated, and they had a gun, a cannon in front of it.
If you're old enough to remember Dirk Dastardly in the Wacky Racers from cartoons,
the
Hanna-Barbera.
Yep.
And that group of characters followed from previous cartoons. I remember as far back as Catch the Pigeon. Where they're World War I, nasty Germans trying to catch the carrier pigeon, taking messages across the lines. But Jack Lemmon playing Dirk Dastardly.
Yes, it was a live action cartoon is what this movie turned into, and it was hilarious because all the tropes that I saw in the cartoons happened to these villains. It's like,
it was funny in the pie in the face style of funny.
Exactly. But like I said,
Wile E. Coyote funny.
Yeah. Like I said, I was laughing, but I don't think I was laughing at the reasons they wanted us to laugh. I'm just laughing at the craziness, the silliness of it.
And then there was a really interesting sort of subplot involving women's lib and the suffragette movement, which I thought was fantastic.
That was probably the most fascinating part of the film, I thought. So obviously, women's suffrage was a hot topic in the turn of the century, women fighting for their rights to vote. And then in 1965, when this movie came out, women were fighting for their rights to work.
Equal pay, equal work, equal rights amendment, which did not pass.
Oops.
But, just trying to get jobs, male-oriented jobs like newspaper reporters or what have you, that's the character in this movie. So they're sort of
Natalie Wood. Ooh, so hot.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
She's a goofball.
And she changed outfits so much through the whole movie. It's like all different colors.
Of course.
It's crazy. And yeah, she got a job as a reporter through does she use her feminine wiles to get her job? I'm not really sure how she got the job. She flashed some leg and got the job.
Up past the knee.
Yeah.
I mean,
naughty.
Stunned the man into signing the hiring paper. But that was hilarious.
But fascinating that the similar arguments for women's liberation
Still happening today.
Still happening today. A little bit different nuance, but yeah, it's the same.
And the question of consent still remains.
Yeah.
There was this there were a couple of scenes where the hero kisses the heroine and she smacks him across the face and he's like, I thought you were a liberated woman. And she said, I am a liberated woman, but that doesn't mean that you get to go kissing me without my consent. And I thought that was just amazing.
Generally, I thought they handled that really, really well. Except that she just spent 5 whole minutes singing him this beautiful love ballad, obviously directed at him.
I hear there's a tree in the forest somewhere.
Blah, blah. And,
Sorry, it's a song that
he acquiesces. He comes over. He says, "You know what? Maybe this live thing is all right. I concede to your argument." And then he kisses her, and then smack.
She slaps him. Yep. Although
I feel he was a little let on.
So you feel that
I'm not saying that
there were some mixed signals.
yes. When do you know there's consent? But I guess that's the.
I would like to kiss you now.
Is that how that happens?
Never once has a woman said that to me.
Well, maybe that's something that needs to happen. That people should get used to asking or requesting. You know, I would like to kiss you. Would you like to kiss me? This would be a really nice time to have a kiss. What do you think?
Can you sign this paper saying that you're giving me?
So as you can see,
your lawyer and my lawyer will meet for lunch. And
the debate and conversation continues to this very day.
Which is kind of a sad state of affairs for that we haven't progressed very far in some respects. But anyway, overall, I liked the movie. It was fun.
So it had gadgets. It had airships. It had hot air balloons. It had submarines.
It was. Oh man, what I found hilarious is the villain. They had that bicycle balloon thing in the air. They're pedaling and they're going forward, and they stop pedaling and they just stay there. They don't drop. They just stopped in midair when they stopped pedaling.
Because they're stopping to spy on the great Leslie.
It's just hilarious.
I really enjoyed the opening credits and how they made it very much feel like
you're in a theater.
You're in the theater in the turn of the century, and the credits are going by in these little slides, which I remember my grandparents using to show their vacations. They had their vacation slides up on the wall.
So you have cha-chink, cha-chink, yeah. Oh, that one's upside down. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, this is very. I'm familiar. Yes. It should be warned. This movie does run about 2.5 hours.
It had an intermission even.
Intermission at an hour and a half. So that should be. One should be aware coming into it.
But it also included the intro music for people to enter the theater and take their seats, and it included the exit music for people to get up and leave the theater.
I thought that was fascinating too. Yeah. This movie was definitely intended just for seeing in the theater.
Yep.
This was not going to be on video cassette because in 1965 such things were not.
No.
Were not done.
No, not then.
So in the middle of this race caper flick, they run into a small kingdom that's having
this is where the race kind of stopped for whatever reason,
and sort of get involved in this plot to overthrow the rightful king the rightful prince of the land. And install sort of a puppet government, and they have to foil this plot before they can continue their race.
Daring rescue and all kinds of stuff going on.
Yeah, they totally left from The Prince and the Pauper, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it was just a bizarre. Like, what happened to the race? This is different. We're just watching a different movie now. All of a sudden.
Well, they all had to join forces to save their buddies and foil the bad guys and defeat Baron von Stupp.
Who just?
This is a family show. Come on.
And there was also a brief interlude in the small town possibly in Texas or Wyoming or Montana or somewhere,
Yeah.
called Borracho, Borracho, the city
City of Borracho.
Yeah, it's like, I have no idea where this was. There was a guy named Texas Pete.
Texas Pete, the bad guy.
And he catches his best girl smooching on
our hero.
the hero, and he's not too pleased with it. And what was the?
He shouts, "Fiddle-dee-dee!" Such a foul-mouthed
Oh, no,
villain.
yeah. My God. But yeah, so a big brawl breaks out, and the saloon gets torn to pieces, and it was crazy ass fight. It was fun. Long fight though. I think it went on a lot longer than it should have.
The brawl went on for a long time. The pie fight went on for a long time.
Yeah.
They drew out the gags a little bit longer than modern audiences might be patient for, but it was
There was a lot of stuff that
really fun.
could have hit the cutting room floor. That'd been fine.
singing.
Still. But overall, I liked it. I mean, overall, was it steampunk? Barely. I mean, it was there. They had the gadgets from the bad guys with his car, and it was a really cool car. The gadgets on it were awesome. They had the smoke screen. They had the cannon. It elevated for whatever reason. I guess because they can try to drive over stuff. It had that little heating element in the front, which I didn't really see work much. But it looked like
That's right. It never worked.
Yeah, it had a battering ram. It looked more like a battering ram to me, but
Fantastic cast, great actors.
Well, Jack Lemmon.
he was
Everybody
good.
else is okay, but Jack Lemmon was awesome.
Yeah. I thought they were all great, and yet, I mean, honestly, for sort of a leading lady type, she did a really good job with the comedy. I thought she had good timing and a good sense of how to present the humor.
I
in her role.
thought she had a very well developed character.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
she was
was
good.
interesting. She wasn't just like a cardboard cutout heroine or
Well, her part was very well
What have
written.
you.
In
Yeah.
addition to how well she acted it, it was there was actually more to it than just wacky girl character
Cheesecake.
Cheesecake.
Although they did have an obligatory, her swimming in a pond in her skivvies,
I'm not complaining
Which
about
back then
that, at all.
that was pretty racy,
Yes.
She wasn't naked, but she was in her under skivvies or whatever they were. It was nice.
a few times.
She's very pretty, but yeah.
Yeah.
You want
And
to
of course, of course, the hero had to take off his shirt at least once, right?
Right, for the sword fighting scene.
Yeah,
You want to talk about the shaving?
Oh yeah.
manly man.
So yeah, there's this scene where he's freshening up in the woods, and they're drying their clothes after the pie fight, of course. And so she's wearing a toga made out of the white blanket that he just happens to keep in his car because of course. and he's
I know what
over-
that car's for.
and he's over. He's got a mirror mounted to a tree, and he's shaving while smoking a pipe.
Yes, very manly.
This is the manliest thing I have ever seen in my life. So manly.
But he wasn't completely shirtless in that scene, though. He was wearing a tank top of some kind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But it was very interesting. Very interesting indeed.
He's a very manly man, of course. Yes.
That's how I'm going to shave from now on. Yes.
While smoking your pipe.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right, awesome.
Fantastic.
Oh,
Okay.
and he was shaving with a straight razor, which I will not be doing from now on.
No.
That scares the heck out of me.
I
Okay.
understand that takes a bit of practice.
No straight razor. Got it. Okay, so there's the Great Race. Overall, like I said, I liked it. It kind of barely fit the steampunk, but
Well,
it'll pass for the day.
I thought it was
close enough.
fantastic, considering there was no such thing as steampunk at the time.
This is true.
And I liked the fact that I'd never heard of it before. And if you're listening, you've probably never heard of this before either, unless you're like old as the hills.
Or really into classic movies.
Okay, all right. Then you know that it's good already.
Of course, I don't think it was an Oscar winner back in the day, but it was fun. What'd you think, Erica?
I enjoyed it quite a bit. I'm not really sure how steampunk it is. It had goggles.
Oh yeah, that makes a steampunk right there.
Yeah,
And crazy gadgets and
big hats.
Yeah.
the Victorian sentimentality.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's 2 out of 3.
So close enough. That's good enough, as we
I
say.
I don't think that it was our third prerequisite for steampunk is it being punk or
No, there wasn't a whole lot of punk.
anti-establishment, and that was not it.
Well, the villain was definitely anti-establishment.
Yeah, but
He's a villain.
Cartoon.
Yeah, he was a cartoon. It was
Everything was a cartoon.
It's freaking hilarious, man. He blew up the garage. They blew up the garage twice. It magically fixed itself, and they blew it up again. It was hilarious.
Yeah, because cartoon.
All right, so we're gonna take a break. We'll come back with what's coming up in the next few weeks, steampunk-wise, the calendar.
emotion. She laughed, he laughed a song. In the West is a robot whose dusty heart is broken. In the West is a robot whose dusty heart is broken. In the West is a robot whose dusty heart is broken. In the West is a robot whose dusty heart is falling down. Our West is a robot. Our West. Our West is a robot. 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 Our West.
Okay, and we're back from our break. That was the Velveteen Band. In the West, there is a robot. That's the first song off their self-titled album back in 2015. They have a website, thevelveteenband.com. We saw these people in Las Vegas, and they were fun. They were really fun. I highly recommend them.
Very bizarre.
Yeah. Yeah, if you look at their pictures, there's a man wearing a rabbit head, and he never takes it off. It's interesting, and it's a puppet show on the side.
And one of the puppets sings like Tom Waits. It's
Yep.
fantastic.
It's the puppets that are doing the singing the entire time. I think, well, the rabbit sings on occasion, I think.
He plays trumpet.
Yep. But they're a fun band. And we saw them at the Las Vegas convention we went to that we've mentioned many, many times because it was
Yes.
a really good time. So, onward. What's happening this month? This month, I have some Kickstarters. These are very important because they have time limits. The first Kickstarter I have, I backed this one. It's called the Boston Metaphysical Society. It's a steampunk comic book, and it has Nikola Tesla and all kinds of characters. And basically, they're in Boston and they're fighting mystical happenings. It sounds like a good time. I haven't read it yet, obviously, because it's a Kickstarter, but it caught my attention. And it has 18 days to go, starting from 2/12/2017.
Have they met their goal?
They're close. They're like almost
so
halfway there.
close.
Yeah, they got like they want 5,000 and they're almost to 2,000 right now.
Oh, that's
not quite halfway
not as
actually.
close.
Well, but they
it
got
could be
18
close.
days. Come on.
It could be close thanks to you.
Yes,
If
I'm
this-
hoping. I'm hoping. I want this comic book.
Not you, Flavio.
Oh, sorry.
The people.
Yes.
We need the people.
I want this comic book. Let's help back it, please.
Look at me. No, look at me.
And you put a link to another one, Delilah Blast Kickstarter?
Yes. She has a Kickstarter. Well, Delilah Blast is the name of the comic. Kickstarter is starting on February 16th. And I found that because they've got like a steampunk or a Facebook event notifying me of their launch. They've already got some art posted and full color, strong female lead, and she's blue. I don't know. But
Details.
oh, I will read it. Help us launch the first issue of the steampunk comic, Delilah Blast. Science runs the world and the Earth is governed by the ESA, the Earth Science Association. Everyone is allowed to join the organization on their 16th birthday, but unfortunately for Delilah Blast, she oversleeps, missing the entrance exam and putting her dreams in jeopardy. However, when another opportunity to achieve her dream presents itself, Delilah is more than willing to ready to take it, even if it means going to a dangerous alien planet to retrieve obscure technology that could change the world and Earth forever. So that sounds cool.
Why is it? Is it science fiction or steampunk?
It is steampunk
Okay.
science fiction. I mean,
duh,
science
yeah.
steampunk is
Okay.
science fiction. So yeah,
But it's outer space steampunk. With,
a bit,
she's blue.
yes.
That's okay.
blue.
It looks cool. I definitely gonna back it. I like it. I like comic books, obviously.
Blue girls, big guns, goggles, and giant robots.
Yeah, what's not to like?
I'm just pulling that from the pictures I've seen, they've already inked
Started
up.
drawing, yeah.
It
It looks great.
pretty nifty.
I'm planning to back it because, like, I'm a big comic book nerd, and well,
Yeah, you are.
I'm a steampunk nerd, and hey, look, it's a comic book steampunk comic book. Why would I not back it?
So you have another one?
I have one more. It is a steampunk science fiction TV pilot that they're trying to get money for. They don't have any. They have some concept drawings. They have a story. The series is about a crew of mercenaries aboard the airship, the Absinthia. It is set on the mythical planet in the future. The overall mission of the Absinthia crew, under the orders of the secret organization known as the Triangle, it's spelled funny, AENGLE, is to destroy the government, a monarchy. First mate Commander Vaha de Cardia, an assassin for the organization, receives orders to kill prominent socialite Reeve St. Clair, to whom she so happens to be married. So there's some intrigue in there as
Awkward.
well. So yeah, it's going to be they want to make, I don't know if it's going to actually be on TV. It'll probably be on the internet. Doesn't really say, but it, hey, anything steampunk.
What's it called again?
It's called. Actually, they don't really have a name for it. It's just called Steampunk Science Fiction TV Pilot.
Oh, okay.
They don't have a name for it yet, but it's the airship Absinthia. So maybe it's going to be called the airship Absinthia. It's a mercenary
What's
crew.
their goal?
What's that?
What's their goal?
Their goal is $5,000, and they're at 1,766. So,
Okay.
All right.
and actually, I was wrong about the last goal. They reached their last goal. The Boston Metaphysical.
Oh, good.
They reached it. They
This comic is happening.
Yeah, it's happening. They wanted 3,500. They've got 6,127 so far. So they doubled.
When you ask help from the people,
You
the
get-
people will come.
See, it happened instantly. Thank you.
Thank you, people. You're the best.
So I mean, I don't know. All I know about this TV pilot is what's on the Kickstarter page. I will put a link up to it. It has they have strong female leads, and they're wearing goggles, and it's I'm gonna give it a try. So there's that.
Okay.
All right, so that's everything for Kickstarter. What else do you have coming up?
What are we going to do this month? Well, if you were in Houston, you can consider on February 18th going to Steampunk and Chill? Question mark.
Chill.
Saturday, February 18th from 3 to 7 at Cafeza at 1720 Houston Avenue. Coffee, tea, and steampunk. No real guidelines. Just meet up and have a good time. Steampunk gear not required. So I'm taking this as just a very
It's just
informal
like a meetup,
meet and
yeah.
chat.
Kind of like our beers and gears.
Get together for the Houston steampunk community, and those who are nearby, by all means, go check them out, meet some friends, what have you.
I'm assuming we have listeners in Houston. Hello, people in Houston.
Hello, Houston peoples.
So there you go. If you didn't know about it, there's a steampunk meetup happening. You should go check it out.
What if I'm not in Houston?
Well, if you're not in Houston and you are in Austin, you might want to go see the White Ghost Shivers.
Fun band.
Yes, they will be playing Central Market Westgate on February the 18th from 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. And this is the Central Market location at 4477 South Lamar, Austin, Texas.
South Lamar one. I saw.
Yes.
I think I saw them play the North Lamar one time.
Right.
You were there too. We were there.
Yep. So the White Ghost Shivers, always a good time, a lot of energy, great band, lots of fun, sing and dance. They're great.
Yeah, the South and Central Market, they have a cafe, food in there as well. I mean, it's just all in all, I mean, really good food in there too. So this sounds like a good time.
Is there a cover?
Let's see.
Very seriously doubt it.
It says it is free, family-friendly fun. This
Yep.
is their yearly Central Market South show.
That's cool that Central Market likes them so much.
Yeah,
So maybe a tip jar or something.
Probably.
I think that's a good idea. Or if they have CDs available,
Buy their CDs.
why not take one home?
Or T-shirts if they have them.
We always want to support local artists, local music, anything that makes Austin or our local communities fun and wonderful places. We want to make sure that keeps happening. So
Yeah. Like I said, I remember seeing them at the North Lamar Central Market, and there was people out there dancing, You know, it was a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a lot of people there. It was
It was packed.
it was
Yeah.
packed, and but they had enough room. They made enough room for people to go out there and dance and kind of swing dance kind of thing. But it was kind of fun.
Yeah. If you know how to do that sort of thing.
Yeah, I wish I did.
So what's next?
What is next? Well, we mentioned it before. March 3rd to the 5th, that weekend, is the Wild Wild West Fest out in Tucson, Arizona. And we still haven't decided if we're going. But I would like to.
There was some talk of a road trip.
Yep. But
That
if
is
you're-
a long trip, though.
It is a
man.
long trip, but I don't know. Since I went to Seattle last year to that convention, I'm kind of thinking I want to go to at least one out of state convention a year.
Okay.
You know, but I mean, I know you guys you're going to be going on a steampunk cruise in the same month, so it may be too much for you guys to go twice.
Well, tell me more about this convention.
Well, it's in Tucson, and I'm told it's like their 10th year, I believe.
Where's the description?
And I did talk to somebody who was there, and they did say it's at an old movie set town, which sounds like a great venue. Yeah, I'm sorry, folks. We should
No,
be more
it's
prepared.
it's not you. I just don't see it there on their Facebook page. But you're right. We talked to someone who'd been there before, and it is in a recreation of an Old West town. So it's not all indoors. Lots of opportunity for photography.
There's
and-
several bands. Frenchie and the Punks is going to be there, one of our favorite bands.
Yep.
As well as I think the Cog is Dead is going to be there as well, which is a big steampunk band. And there's just special guest. I don't know who these women are. Sarah something, or I can't read this webpage. Wow. So we'll put the links up. But overall, I mean, it's been going for a while. It's an old West town.
I see a lot of makers as special guests. I think Avi Rose Art. And you'll see her if you look on their Facebook event. Tobias McCurry. He's got this beautiful looking steampunk brass arm. Clearly, he must be a maker. James Nethery. You just keep on scrolling. I see more and more
It looks
people.
like it's a big deal going on out there, and it's not going to be in a conventional, convention center. Like I said, it's going to be in an old West town. French and the Punk's going to be there. There's going to be the
Cog is
the
Dead.
Cog is Dead. Something a band called the Mission Creeps. There's a horse-drawn trolley all weekend. A bunch of steampunk vehicles going to be out there on display. It just sounds like all kinds of stuff going on, and it just sounds like a good time.
And Celtica.
Celtica,
So-
pipes rock.
Yeah, so bagpipes and rock.
What's the not like about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, other than the 15-hour drive, I'm totally there.
That's
And that's each way.
that's the only thing that's slowing us down about maybe jumping on this and going out there. But I'm tempted. I really want to. It just sounds like a great time. I think maybe Frenchie and the Punk will think we're stalking them because we're showing up everywhere they are in this area.
It's not like we're the only ones.
True.
True enough.
But anyway, so there's that. What else is going on?
Well, the Cirque du Soleil is coming to Texas
Yes.
with their show called Curios. And they were promoting this at Steampunk November because apparently it's a very steampunk aesthetic sort of show. And I've seen a few pictures on their website and it looks really awesome. And the Cirque du Soleil is always a fantastic time. If you've never seen a Cirque du Soleil show, they're just amazing. It's
YouTube it. You can find out on
Yes,
Stuff on YouTube.
and crazy stuff. It's fun.
It's amazing what people can do when they put their minds to it and have the physical discipline to learn these acrobatic.
Get all bendy.
Yeah, it is. It's just an
Flying
amazing
through the
thing.
air and all
So
kinds of stuff,
they're going to be in Dallas in March. Into February and all through March, and then they're going to be in Houston in April and May, and we still haven't quite decided when we're going to go. But if you go to the Austin Steampunk Society Facebook page, there is a poll there, and if there is interest in carpooling or caravanning, pick an option there on the poll, and we can start working on plans to go and maybe do that together. Maybe hit a museum or go out to lunch or dinner while we're up there.
Yeah, definitely.
Interact with the Dallas or Houston steampunk folks. Make it a big steampunk event.
Definitely, that sounds like a great plan.
Thank you for setting up that poll online, Erica.
Yeah, definitely.
Sure.
Makes things easier to figure things out,
Yeah, it's nice to make plans.
especially in advance. Because we probably should start thinking about buying our tickets soon. Because I don't know, I have no idea how popular it is, but I don't want to risk it selling out on us by not buying our tickets in time.
That's true too.
Because that's happened to us in the past also. Yes.
More than once. Sad to say.
So yeah, let's get that poll done, and we'll make a plan and get it done. We'll do it. We'll do this.
Okay.
And of course, luckily we have a second shot because you said it's going to Houston.
It's going to Houston, right?
So if we can't make it to Dallas, we can make it to Houston.
And if you can make it to Dallas,
We can still go to
make it
Houston. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing it twice. Every time you see a Cirque du Soleil show, you can notice
new
different
every time?
things.
Okay.
Right. I've seen Mystere in Las Vegas 3 or 4 times, and every time I notice something different or I'm
Awesome.
focused on something different, and it's just always an
'Cause
amazing
there's just so much
time.
going on, right?
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot going on, and there's just, you can't look at everything at once.
Okay, well, I think that pretty much wraps it up for this episode, season 2, episode 3, and I think we did all right. We did good. We did good.
Yeah.
All right, so
Sure.
Don't forget that there is a giveaway.
definitely
Like us on Facebook.
share
and,
the page or share this episode,
And,
and we'll put your name in a hat. We'll pull out a winner, and we'll send you something cool.
yes.
So
Is there anything else?
I think that's everything.
All right, then. Till next time.
Mind your
Gauges.
Thanks for listening. This has been the Texas Steampunk Connection. Opening music was The Texas Steer Rag by George Botsford, recorded in 1909.
Please like us on Facebook at Texas Steampunk Connection.
Where you will find the links to all the topics we talked about in this episode.
Until next time,
Mind your gauges.
Tony Curtis is brave, of course. But he's never been as brave as this before. Jack Lemmon. Funny? Naturally. But never so fantastically funny as this. Men chasing Natalie Wood? Not surprising, but never so frantically before. No one has ever been as great as they are in the world's greatest comedy, The Great Race. It's the greatest. It's the gayest. It's the wildest. It's the funniest. And how could it help but be with Jack Lemmon as Professor Fate, the meanest villain that ever twirled a mustache? Tony Curtis as the Great Leslie, gallant lover and heroic daredevil. Natalie Wood as Maggie Dubois, loveliest of lovely damsels in distress. Peter Falk, Keenan Wynn, Larry Storch, Dorothy Provine. It's the fabulous around-the-world race from New York to Paris. A rambunctious, rib-busting riot of a race. Its high points only outrun by the hilarity of what happens in between heats.
You are an emancipated woman, Mr. Bois. And I am an emancipated man.
They'll lead to a merry chase on land, under the sea, and in the air. You'll never stop laughing once you've started The Great Race.